Hi everyone, this is Tutu Mora with The Why, bringing you tools to feel well in your body, mind, and spirit. So today we're going to be using the foam roller for a little back adjustment and some core strength and stability. So the foam roller is a super versatile tool, and many of you have expressed a desire for more foam roller routines. So this is in response to you, and you know, if you don't have a foam roller, I'd really recommend that if you have one, you use it. But if you don't, you can use kind of a spine's length of rolled up thick bath towels to kind of mimic the thickness of the foam roller. However, you know, it's just a little bit hard with the towels because with the weight of your body, they can collapse a little bit, so you don't get the same effect, but it still can be useful in challenging your stability. So if you've got your foam roller, I would recommend just laying it down on the mat or a soft surface. And so we're gonna lay down on the foam roller. And we want the entire spine and your head supported by the foam roller. So to get on, you're just going to sort of squat on the very tip of the end of the foam roller. You want the very base of your spine on the end there. And then you're just going to lie back, and I'll tilt my screen down so you'll be able to see what that looks like here. So we're just going to lay back onto the foam roller, and so your whole head as well as your entire spine are going to be supported by the roller, and you can probably tell right away that there's a little bit of a wobble. And so what you want is you want to keep that stability with your center, with those abdominal muscles. So let's take a moment here as you're lying down on the foam roller just to find your balance. So as you can see, my feet are firmly planted on the ground, just about a hip distance apart. You can let your hands rest as well. And just take a few deep breaths. So let that breath come all the way down into the low belly. And feeling as though your spine is just relaxing over the roller here. Letting things adjust. When I did this morning, I got some nice adjustments in my back. So it can feel like some really nice little cracks that can happen as your spine just relaxes around the roller here. And so let's take a couple more deep breaths. Again, just finding your stability, finding that feeling of relaxing over that curve of the roller. And while we're on the roller, let's take a couple pelvic curls and pelvic extensions. So it'll probably feel a little weird to do this on the roller, but we're just gonna start to tilt that pelvis. So as if the tailbone is gonna curl and come up between the legs. And then setting that pelvis back down to a neutral pelvis. And then a little extension of the pelvis, so gently imprinting that tailbone into the roller. And then we'll go back and forth between those two spaces, just keeping that heaviness of the pelvis into the roller. Letting the roller tell you where those little tight spots are, where you're maybe a little bit challenged in terms of stability. And so let's just take a couple more, again, remembering to breathe, letting things adjust and relax around the roller. Now, if the roller feels too unsteady, you are absolutely welcome to do these movements without the help of the roller. The roller is just a facilitator in helping to challenge your stability and helping to make some adjustments in the spine, right? So let's come back down to a neutral pelvis and challenging the stability. Let's bring both arms all the way up, fingertips towards the ceiling here.
And so we're gonna make a little okay sign with the hands here, as you can see with my hands.
Plugging those arms into the shoulder sockets, staying stable on the roller, we're gonna open those arms out into a T. Keeping that width of the roller between the shoulder blades, and see if you can avoid popping out the chest as you do this. Deep breath there at the end. And then bringing those arms all the way back up.
And so now we're going to move down to the next finger, so thumb and the middle finger together, as you can see my hands here.
Again, fingertips up towards the ceiling. Plug those arms into the shoulder sockets, and we're going to once again take those arms out into a T. Nice deep breath there at the end. And let's move down to the thumb and the ring finger.
So as you can see here.
And then once again, arms plugging themselves into the shoulder sockets, taking those arms out into a T. Nice deep breath there at the bottom. And then the last finger, thumb towards the pinky finger.
So as you can see here, no need to keep the fingers definitely straight. We just want that little bit of differently oriented stretch. So thumb and the pinky here together as we open out into a T.
Keeping that width, the width in the sternum. So we don't want the shoulder blades to crunch up around the roller. We want to keep that space, which is the challenge, right? And you can let those fingertips all come up towards the ceiling here. And we're going to slide one arm overhead as the other arm comes down towards the mat, giving a gentle reach away in both directions, and then heavy through those shoulders as you switch sides. Nice and slow, because you want to keep that balance on the roller, and continuing to breathe. One more set. So I don't know if you can feel any little adjustments in the spine here, but can feel like a really nice little release of pressure in the back. Arms back up, and let's rest them down on the mat. So we're going to do one more thing just to challenge that stability here, specifically in the pelvis. So as you're here, I want you to feel like that equilibrium over the roller. So you've got both sides of the pelvis relatively equally weighted. And we're going to bring one leg into shelf. So you can support yourself using your breath. Your arms can also rest on the mat. And then you also have your stable leg. So let's bring that leg into shelf. And while you're here, find that equilibrium in the pelvis. And then we're going to take a couple heel taps. And see if you can keep that looseness in the rest of your body. You don't want your upper body to help you tense and work with this movement. We really want that stability to happen through the core, through the pelvis, through the glutes. Let's take two more here. Last one. Where are you tensing? And see if you can just bring a little extra softness into those spaces. And then rest back down. Let's take that same thing over to the other side. So find that equally weighted pelvis. And then start to lift that leg into shelf. Now, as you're here, where are you tensing? See if you can bring some softness there. And you may notice as you start to heel tap that it's a little trickier or a little different from one side to the other. And let's take three more. Remembering to breathe. The breath is such a helpful tool in helping create space and stability.
Let's take one more. And resting back down. Let's take one more deep breath here, just relaxing over the roller. Perhaps taking another couple pelvic curls just to let that spine move and feel a little bit of the difference. One more. And so as you're here, let's talk about how to get off. So you could either get off the same way that you got back on, which is to roll all the way up and sit up on the roller using your arms to support you. Or you could just sort of relax off to the side and let that roller sort of roll out from underneath you. And so go ahead and let's take a couple steps around here. Feel how your spine is moving. And you may notice that it just feels a little bit different, a little bit more mobile. And so I hope you found this supportive. We'll be doing a few more things with the foam roller coming up. And if you like this video, feel free to like it below, and I'll see you here next time on the Wise YouTube channel.